Welcome back to Dirty Fingers, Muddy Toes. My name's Julie, and today we're going to take just a couple of minutes and I'm going to share with you what I do to get myself organized at the beginning of the seed starting season so I don't lose my mind. So whether you're dealing with 6 seed packets or like I am, a ton of them, this is a super simple process. It will make your life easier year after year. Stick around. As you can see here, there are a lot of seeds that I have to deal with. And it doesn't really matter whether you're just working with a handful of seed packets or you have this many. Getting organized just takes you a couple of minutes and saves you a ton of stress and missed opportunity in your growing season. So what I do is I take a little piece of paper and I mark out the number of weeks. And most seed packets will give you a range, like start 4 weeks early, or they'll stay 4 to 6 weeks early. So let me find one here. For example, on this high mowing packet right here, this red express cabbage says to start the seed 4 to 6 weeks early. So I usually make my pieces of paper in little headings, 0 to 1 to 2 weeks, or 2 to 4 weeks, 4 to 6, 6 to 8, 8 to 10, and 10 to 12. There's not really going to be anything that I'm going to start that's more than 12 weeks early. And I just look at the last frost date in my area. So this year they're saying it's a Tuesday. It's the week of April 28th. It's usually about May 1st here on the border of zone 5 and 6 in Ohio. And I just look through the calendar and I mark if it's 12 weeks back that I need to start it, I need to start it the week of February 4th. Or if it's 10 weeks back, the week of February 18th. Anywhere in that week is fine. It's not rocket science, but I have an easy tool to look at here. And rather than work with each seed packet individually, marking each one of them, I make these little headers of the weeks, like I told you, and then I go through my seed packs and I gather all up and I start looking at how many weeks it says. So like in the red express cabbage, it says 4 to 6 weeks. It's gonna go in that heading. And I sort all of them out according to their groups. Once I get the groups all sorted out, then I just take a marker and I look at my list. So if I'm working on, let's turn it around here so you can see it. If I'm working on the pile that should be started 10 to 12 weeks early, I know that I want to start those seeds somewhere between February 4th and February 18th. And I will go through and mark every seed packet in that grouping, February 4th to the 18th. It shows me that I have a window. And then I just put a rubber band around them and put them in my handy little box right here, right in the very front, because those are going to be the oldest ones that I need to grow, the first ones that I actually need to work with. So they're going to go in the front. And then I'll do the same thing for the other groupings. The ones that are 8 to 10 weeks are going to say March 3rd or February 18th through March 3rd. And I gather those all up and I mark just at the top of my seed packet, right? Now this one just says mid-March because this is an old seed packet and I was just kind of working in that window. But if you look at, the other ones that we're using here, I've already gone through and marked these and it just says March 17th through March 31st. And that's the earliest that I want to start it, and that's really the last I want to start it. Now, if you miss that window, it's not the end of the world, but that's the ideal range to get your seeds started so you can plant them out when the temperatures are right in your area. So I get them all put together. I mark on the top of each one of them when they're going to start. It's all about the same time frame. I can just write the same thing. Then I put a rubber band around them, and then I stick them in my box in order. So, the first ones that I need to deal with are obviously going to be the oldest, followed by the 8 to 10 weeks, followed by the 6 to 8 weeks, and so forth and so on. And I end up with all of this mess gone and an organized box of seeds that I want to start with. Now, I have already done my 10 to 12 week seeds. So what's in the front of my box here are my tomatoes and peppers that still have to be started, and they're in the 8 to 10 week category. And when I get ready to work on seeds, I just come over to the box. They're rubber banded together. It's the first thing that I see. I don't have to sort through everything and figure out which ones I need to be working with right now. It's all right here together. And I just pull the rubber band off, and then I look at them and I say, okay, these beds are gonna be tomatoes, so I'm gonna start, these ones these are peppers, I might put them in a different seed starting container so I can, manage them differently. But let's say I'm not going to get all of these done today. I'll take the ones that I did get done and I'll put them at the back, right? So next time I come to work with this, maybe later in the week, maybe I'll have a little bit of time in an evening, I'm going to plant these seeds. They're right in front. I just work straight from those and then put them in the back. When I get all the way back to the beginning, then I know I'm done with these. I'll put the rubber band back on them, and I put them in the very back of the box here. So I don't have to work with those anymore this year. Even if the seed pack is empty, I keep it until the season is over. So if there's any information on there that I've missed or I've forgotten, or let's say my tags got washed out or bleached out, I can go back and look at that tag. It also helps me remember what it is that I'm growing if I forget for some reason. All the other things in the bag here, or in this box, are actually, so once I get out of my things that need to get started early, these are going back up here because I haven't worked on those yet. Everything back here and on the sides are all beans that get, not beans, but things that get started right in the soil. So they're not going to get planted early necessarily. Beans get direct seeded, corn gets direct seeded, carrots get direct seeded. All of those things I don't have to worry about right now. They're not going to go out until the soil is at the right temperature and there's no more frost to worry about. Or some of the things that will go out a little bit earlier, like spinach, they're going to be in this area. Now, if I'm going to plant in cold soil like peas and spinach, which you do before the last frost date, I'll often bundle those things together and put a rubber band around those too and put them in here. But everything else in here, I don't have to worry about until the soil gets warm. And that makes everything about starting seeds so much easier. So hopefully this has helped you out a little bit and made the process seem less overwhelming. A couple of minutes of organization can save you a lot of time and stress later and get you some healthy seedlings. Thanks for tuning in.